Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Previously, we entered the first-class cabin right next to where Kazuma Asogi died, and we found a Russian gentleman with a thick beard and very dark glasses, who we discovered was actually a woman in disguise. Not just any woman, the fleeing ballerina who stole a 20,000 ruble tiara and is fleeing from Russia. So now we're wondering, what the hell's going on here? Not to mention the fact that apparently Kazuma's last entry in his diary before he died, he said that he saw some sort of speckled band emerging from the ventilator that connects these two rooms. So that's how this whole mess started, trying to find out what's going on in this room. Well, let's pick things back up, shall we? You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel, which couldn't have been easy. The Burya is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could you really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. And you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So, if it was just you, about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? That veritable tinkling of a bell, why, none other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me.
I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, disgust myself, so no one would recognize me. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man. I see. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then, just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper. Right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened, I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearances completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and...
At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door.
Things happen like that sometimes, don't they?
Things do indeed happen like that from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing?
There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? You were right. It is my dear friend inside, my only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say to any of the crew.
Your secret is safe with us, I assure you, but in return, you must tell us in as much detail as you can muster about the events of last night.
Yes, all right. I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something Mr. Shom's great deduction?
It was certainly something, yes. I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. And one more thing. Oh, yes? What? Observe your wrists.
Ah, your hands are cuffed again. What? But how?
True to my word, I have restored your shackles.
Ugh, when? And why? There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment.
Can't it? Really?
Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was.
Well, the dialogue here is telling me to speak with her first thing, but I'd much prefer to look around the room first. So let's do that. Left to right. Let me see.
Don't touch.
Huh?
I will tell you what I know about last night, but please, you must not touch my things. How do you say, forbid it?
Oh, sorry. As well you should be, young man. What vulgar manners you have. Poking around in a young lady's private belongings. Neither shall I allow it. Ugh, hypocrite. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, everything's showing the check mark. Alright. First up, what do you have to say about this? Can I show you this? I'm actually a university student from the Empire of Japan, you see.
That means nothing to me.
No, why would it?
Mr. Naruhodo, if you're determined to flaunt your Yume badge, at least choose a Japanese person who might recognize it.
Miss Susato, can I show you this?
Maybe later.
Oh, I could show Inspector Hosonaga, too. Can you read this Russian? Miss Pavlova, would you take a look at this?
I don't know. I don't know anything. Mr. Naruhodo, you're frightening the poor girl.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't trying to. How about the newspaper of the Revolutionary? Miss Pavlova, about this article. Did you know about this merciless revolutionary already?
No. But when I saw the picture, I couldn't believe it. He looks just like me in my disguise.
Huh? Am I the only one around here with eyes?
The other man, the one wearing the brown, he also said so. He said we looked the same.
Yes, he says a lots of things, but I have a strong feeling that besides you and the great detective, you won't find another soul on this ocean who thinks there's any similarity there at all.
Mr. Naruhodo, I won't allow you to speak ill of Mr. Sholmes.
No, I wouldn't dream of it. Miss Pavlova, about this article.
You look so beautiful, like a fairy. I'm scared. If my picture is in the newspapers. You poor girl.
She's so young, just 15 years old. For her to have run away all by herself. She must have felt very, very alone. I don't think she'd know anything about the diary, so let's converse. Well, actually, there's nothing here about the speckled band, so maybe we should show her the diary, but we can do that in a bit. Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night?
One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast.
The man who died, he was a friend to me.
Oh.
That's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night?
Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example. Perhaps people talking?
Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that had happened.
Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me.
Oh, I see. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novavik Ballet?
Yes. I am traveling to Great Britain, and from there, I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life.
You wish to forget? A challenging proposition, when you have that striking tiara as a reminder.
But the tiara is mine. I need it to live. I have no money of my own. The Novavik Ballet gives us only a little food and water, and we must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes, and the crew of this ship, they have all been kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin.
Oh, you didn't even sneak on. Wow. If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it creates a most intriguing conundrum. Yeah, if that's true, why would she need to disguise herself in the first place?
Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Burya stopped by no port last night. Oh, that's it, of course. So how is it, pray, that you came to be aboard?
Now that I think about it, the crewman outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked him about when the occupant of this cabin came aboard.
That is not your business. Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something.
An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage.
Sorry, what was that?
It is how the Russian newspapers described one of my performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens, because I am an angel.
Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid. Why would any of them be speaking English right now? Well, okay, actually, no. Sholmes would. Yeah.
Mr. Sholmes once said, "I never can resist a touch of the dramatic." It seems Miss Pavlova is the same.
A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself. A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, in fact. Yes, Mr. Showy. Anyway, it doesn't look like Mr. Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. Did she friggin' parachute on board from an airplane? So the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right?
I don't think animals are allowed on board according to the rules of passage. Oh, please, don't tell any of the crew. If they found my precious...
Then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt.
Ah!
So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes.
But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? It is, isn't it?
Maybe an adorable little rabbit? Oh, son of a bitch, it's a snake, isn't it? Ha! You credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits there, then? You may well ask. I have no idea. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious it must be a chicken? Oh, please.
Really?
Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs, and when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. So you'd eat your friends. I'll remember that. Well, it would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. She obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. My thoughts exactly. This is the diary of my friend who passed away.
His diary?
Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m., what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? I don't understand.
It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentions joins to this cabin you see. It's up there on the wall.
In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. Oh. Miss Pavlova? Has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you? Or the whistling sound, perhaps? No. I don't know anything.
Oh. Uh-oh. Excuse me, Mr. Roylott.
That was fast.
Yes? What? Wow, she's fast. Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once, please. All right, I will come now.
What?
You must leave, now.
Oh no, it's fine, don't mind us. Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roylott.
Get out! The passenger said out, or you want me to throw you out?
Looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later. What a pity.
Shoot. Feel bad about that animal cooped up in the trunk. I said cooped up. Maybe that chicken speech was affecting me more than I thought.
And so we lost our chance. Having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. To be continued. Right now. Okay, so what the hell's gonna happen next? I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we'd managed to find some clue as to what that speckled band might be. We didn't manage to investigate at all. And I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go? Oh yes, he's completely disappeared. Ah, just as Pavlova must have disguised herself, Sholmes must have hidden himself, maybe. He's still in that, and we can talk to him through the ventilator, maybe. When did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrists. I really wish we'd had a chance to look around at Miss Pavlova's cabin.
What? Why you look like that? You want something?
Huh?
Maybe you want me to throw you out again, hmm?
Oh, no, definitely not that.
Next time I have to throw you out, I show you where lobsters spend a winter, understand?
Understand? Maybe I should steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face. I don't think he'll ever forget your face, Naruhodo-san. Right. Let's head back into the room. Can't go in there, so... Alright, this other sailor's here. Forgot. It looks like they're still investigating in here. Yes, on that subject, I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga is unscathed. What do you mean, unscathed? Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Naruhodo-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of this cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you. Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know. I'm sorry, where is he exactly? Oh,
there he is. Ah, there's something new with the ventilator. So this ventilator joins to Miss Pavlova's cabin.
Yes, that's right.
And just a few minutes before he died, Kazuma saw something emerging from it. The speckled band, as he described it.
If only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it, but she seemed as baffled as we were.
Yes, I wonder if she's telling us everything, though.
I'm not sure.
I know most people aboard would say the same about me, but there was something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. Oh my god. Someone beat him up? He's got a black eye, a broken spectacle, and blood on the other side of his mouth. What the hell? Ah, you're back. Inspector!
What happened to you? Your face is...
Please don't worry about it. They're just scratches. Made by a bear, maybe? When I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fists and then toss me overboard.
What?
But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. This guy's ride or die to the end. I love him. Looks like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to.
Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know little about the neighboring cabin.
Yes, so I understand.
Oh.
I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Herr Locksholms. I don't think he was German, though. Ah, that explains it. Shall we compare notes, then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. Bless this man. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door. Oh, do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel? Aww. Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case at least. Oh? How? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Oops, now I've definitely upset him.
Inspector, has your investigation in here proved fruitful?
If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job.
Oh, I see.
There is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh? What?
Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please.
What is this new information you have, Inspector? It's this. A clipboard with a stamped letter and 2 envelopes? The Buria's medical officer has finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report. Oh, Kazuma's post-mortem report.
Kazuma-sama,
So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report.
His neck was broken?
Yes, it would seem so. There were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. So we can rule out snake venom, maybe. Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet, but the fact that there were no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Maybe the snake got in here and strangled him, as snakes do, but I don't know if snakes could be that powerful to break your neck just by wrapping around it and squeezing. Asphyxiate, sure, but break the bones? The spine? Oh, I see.
All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. It is a possibility, and no obvious wound would be left.
Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. When this man first appeared in this game, I thought he was slimy and shady. I was so wrong. This man's a beautiful individual and I love him. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? The post-mortem report has been entered into the court record. Let's take a closer look. Well, between 1 a.m. and a little past 2 a.m., that definitely tracks with the diary entries. The victim's neck was almost certainly broken? I don't know for sure. I do recall them saying that the autopsy would be performed not by a professional, not by someone who was trained. I think it was just the ship's medic, but they weren't trained in the way of autopsy. We can't rely on any of this as fact, I don't think. Huge grain of salt.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he?
Yes, he seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now that you mention it, yes. Just one thing, but he practically shouted it. "It's shoe polish," was all he said. Shoe polish? Wonder what he meant. Is that the skid on the floor? It was when he was over there, by the piece of broken glass, do you see?
Ah, perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark, do you think?
Yes, that must be it. But how could Mr. Sholmes know that it's shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. What is it, Susato-san?
Well, Kazuma-sama is wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue.
Dark tan? A sort of dark brownish red, then?
Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him.
Oh, does this mean that this mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes as they scuffed on the floor? Interesting. Well, what is that purple glass? Or magenta, maybe. Or is it pronounced magenta? I don't know how to pronounce that. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewmen's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yes, that might be for the best. Thank you.
Poor Inspector, you look exhausted.
Oh, no. Well, I feel terrible that I failed to protect Hosogi-san. He was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke this morning. Just like Ryunosuke. A heavy head? That's interesting. My head's still throbbing too. So it's clear that these letters were written with the ink that was somehow spilt on the floor. Wait, what? And they spell the Russian word for wardrobe. I was not anywhere near that.
It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Naruhodo-san, as you were sleeping in there.
But to be truly unambiguous, it should have just spelt out my name, don't you think?
Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written his last words, or word, in Russian.
Which begs the question of who did write it.
It really is such a beautiful color, this glass.
It looks like whatever it was has broken clean in two. But the other half is nowhere to be seen.
And then there's the brick-colored mark.
Which is shoe polish, according to that great detective you seem to know all about.
I suppose it must be from Kazuma-sama's shoes.
Maybe, but what I'd like to know is, how can the detective be so sure that it's shoe polish and not something else?
Because he's a great detective, of course.
Susato, you were in that room just like 50 minutes ago as you watched the horrible great deduction that Ryunosuke had to fix at every turn. Come on. That's hardly a reason, is it? You, where did you go?
Oh, sorry. I just went to the next door.
Why? Who gave you permission for this?
Well, Seaman Hosonaga did.
That new Japanese, was it? Later, I will roll him into ball and throw him in cold room.
Phew. He's gone back to guarding the door. I hope Inspector Hosonaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble on our account.
He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at Le Carnival.
That could be a very long time from now, Naruhodo-san.
Lots of new stuff to look at. All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin, neatly arranged on the shelf.
They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember.
Oh yes, and you tidied them up, didn't you?
You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabins leads to damage.
But it really wasn't me who knocked them over.
Well, anyway, I feel much better now they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are untidy.
So how about that? No, nothing new about the wardrobe. Did we really investigate all of it? Anything that's under it, maybe? Yeah. This is where Kazuma spent his final moments writing his diary.
1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
Looking at his writing here on this page, it's almost impossible to believe that he's gone.
Kazuma-sama left us a valuable clue in these words, I'm sure of it. We have to solve this mystery, Naruhodo-san.
We will. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Burya.
Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
So by bringing her pet on board, Miss Pavlova has broken the rules.
She called it her friend, didn't she?
Yes, although we don't know what form this friend takes yet. As yet. Wow, I really bungled that.
I'm almost certain that whatever it is, it's inside the traveling case in her cabin.
Huh. A friend. There's more to this than it seems, I think. Uh-oh. Have I run out of things to look at? I think I have. Uh-oh. In that case, I guess it's time to stop investigating. I guess we'll be able to leave. Even though that guard is right there. Interesting. Well, that's weird, but okay.
Ah! Look, Naruhodo-san. Seaman Stroganov is gone.
Strong-enough?
The burly Russian sailor who's always crossing his arms and glaring at us.
All these Russian names are impossible to remember. Tra-la-la? Captain Underpants, is that you? Did you hear that? It sounded like someone singing. Tra-la-la, lira-lira lay. I did it the great detective way.
This caroling, I know that lark-like voice.
Well, never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us.
Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can and investigate.
Definitely. Before that stringy knot crewman comes back.
It's Stroganov, not Stringy Knot.
Weird, but sure. What are you doing?
Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes, look.
Wow, you never know where he's going to turn up next, do you?
He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself.
Tra-la-la-lira-lira-lay, I did it the great detective way. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us?
Or he's simply in extremely high spirits.
Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, it's lucky Herlock was about. Is that, Scotland Yard?
Excuse me.
I solved it all and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes!
Ah!
What is it? You want to fight him? Oh, look at him. He's ready to go. Honestly, interrupting the fellow when he's singing, and I was just about to reach the climactic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now is a good time as any. I very nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Now, could you put those fists away?
Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you.
Yes, that. I was immersed in study of the ship's log as penned by the stockily built crewman who is usually on guard here.
Oh yes, the ship's log.
And did you find out anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries are blank. Which means that there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
Observe the other pages and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman oft stands sentry in this first-class passageway. And he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that in every 30 minutes?
Nothing to report?
Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report.
Do you mean...
Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night which led to the seaman being absent from his post.
What kind of circumstances? What happened?
That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribing nothing to report in the log. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. Aha! Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. Ah, you're starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes Sholmes Sholmes. Brilliance. Oh, ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason, nothing more. Well, my friends, until our next encounter. He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Is something wrong, Susato-san? You seem lost in thought.
It's just, well, I feel the same.
Sorry?
Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache.
That makes 4 people now.
A sort of continuous throbbing.
Oh, you too. Yeah, Sholmes is gone. Let's move into Pavlova's cabin. The snake is out there. The case is open. Man, I swear it's a snake. It better be. Oh. There are clothes in the drawer now. Maybe they were taken out of the case. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. Wait, that's a... By all means, that room should have been empty. How did the case open, and who put up those clothes? What? Susato-san... Oh, where's she gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things.
There's not a moment to waste, Naruhodo-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can.
I suppose you're right. For Kazuma's sake.
Not just for Kazuma-sama.
What do you mean?
It can't be long now until we arrive at port, in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there.
Really?
We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san, by ourselves if we have to.
Yes, we will. Oh, ain't that nice? You know, I did theorize that this plate just left on the floor was to feed the pet. Why would a snake need a plate? Maybe I'm just wrong about my assumption flat out. So it's not a dog, not a rabbit, might not be a snake. Maybe it's some sort of cat then? I don't know.
It would seem this teapot is empty.
So the natural conclusion is that the Russians are very thirsty people.
Or because Miss Pavlova only came to this cabin last night, she hasn't had the chance to make any tea yet. I mean, it could be either.
It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it.
You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Naruhodo-san? I wonder what this little saucer is doing on the floor.
Yes, it doesn't look like it's been dropped. More like it was put there deliberately.
Ah, do you think there could be a leak in the roof just above here?
What? A leak?
Is this ship quite safe?
I'm sure that even if there's a little leak in the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship is going to sink.
No, you're right. Of course you're right.
She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? Well, as much as I would love to keep investigating, maybe look at one more thing, no, I think it's best to call it off right here. We'll look at the rest next time, starting with this case and this desk and the bin. That pet must be in here somewhere, and I will find it. Also, what in the heck is in... Wow. I can't even look in this huge... Oh. No, I don't think I can look in this duffel bag. No, I think I can only look at the dresser here. Ah, well. You know, I want to believe that Susato's newfound belief in Ryunosuke, her saying that she wants Ryunosuke to be a free man by the time they dock in port. I want to say she was persuaded, or, well, swayed really, by seeing Hosonaga's devotion. You know? Like, I can't believe Susato stood there seeing Hosonaga wave off his the concerns about his face and the talk of the devotion he went to, the lengths he went. Yeah, I don't think Susato would just stand there, hear all that, and then not change her opinion. So good on ya, Hosonaga. Good on ya. Man, it feels like we learned a lot this video, but at the same time we learned nothing. Hopefully we can find something more concrete. Goodness me. I guess that'll happen next time. So for now, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.